Good morning. I'm Joyce Sadler with Florida State University, and I'm here interviewing Matt Turpin with the Bank of England. I'm excited this morning. Matt's going to talk to us about good, sound financial management. Welcome, Matt.
Good morning, Joy. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited that you're here. Would you mind sharing with our students a little bit of your background and how you got into this industry and some of the benefits that you're getting out of this industry?
Sure. I was in public accounting for roughly 18 years. I graduated from Auburn with a degree in accounting, obtained my CPA license in 2003. After that, got my certified valuation analyst designation to do business valuations, to put dollar amounts on closely held businesses. Did that for from 2005 until 2018, when I moved to be the local CFO for the Bank of England mortgage lending. We specialize in VA lending. Our specialty is clear to close in 21 days. And to do that, everybody has to have the same sense of urgency.
So what do you do? How do you market to your target market, to your customers? Because I know there's lots of banks around.
Correct.
How do you get the people in your door?
We have 18. Currently, we have 18 loan officers, and it's about relationships. Mm-hmm. Our loan officers make relationships. We tell them that for our strategic advantage, that sets us apart, is the fact that our goal is clear to close in 21 days, and we make sure that if we make that promise, that we get there, right. that we get clear to close in 21 days. We do that by having relationships with realtors, relationships with closing agents and buyer's agents, and having relationships with those people that are in the real estate industry. What sets us apart is the fact that we get the finish line faster and right.
That's great. That's great. So what are some of the challenges that you face in your business?
Another roadblock that we have, that I don't believe is just in the finance and just the residential lending, is staffing. Mm-hmm. It is extremely hard to find the right individual. One, in our industry, there is a level of salesmanship, mm-hmm. Where you have to be a salesperson. You have to be hungry. You have to go out and make the phone calls. You have to make relationships, build relationships, and that's not in everybody's wheelhouse.
Right. I try to tell my students that all it boils down to is building relationships.
Agreed.
People, you might have the best product, you might not have the best product, but if you have the best service and you truly show people that you care about them as individuals, then they're going to buy from you.
You are 100% correct. It doesn't matter what industry you're in.
That's right. Doesn't matter what you're selling, but it's all about relationships.
Correct. You can be the best salesperson and be just a smooth talker, but if you don't follow through with what you're selling, mm-hmm. Again, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, if you don't follow through with what you're selling, you will not have a good reputation in that industry.
Absolutely. It's building that trust factor.
Mm-hmm.
They know they can count on you.
Mm-hmm.
What advice would you give to my students as far as them becoming financially sound? We teach an entrepreneur class on how to start a business in our industry. What are some of the characteristics that you have experience in looking for when you're going to give a new business owner a loan, mm-hmm. for that business?
The easiest thing is pay your bills. Make sure your credit score is as strong as it can be, and that's not just paying one bill or two bills, or make sure that you have as little debt as possible. But typically your credit is strongest if you can show that you understand the principles of credit, meaning if a credit card company gives you a credit line, it gives you a credit card with $1,000 on it, and you have a zero balance, that's great. but that if that balance goes up and down, yet you're paying it off, and you're roughly in that 20% of using your credit, that is a very good example to the lender of you understand credit.
That's great. I want the students to also understand how important it is to keep up with their records and doing their taxes. For every time I've ever had to get some type of loan, usually you have to show your tax returns, and that's important. And for the students that don't have credit, like Matt said, don't go out and get a bunch of credit cards, but you can go and buy small things, maybe at a appliance store or electronics store, and instead of paying right off for it, get established with some credit where you're paying monthly, $50 a month, $100 a month, whatever it takes, and pay that off, and that will also help establish that credit for you.
Right, and there are, again, being in the finance industry, we see this a good bit. There are companies that will help prepare credit. We encourage that because, particularly if you're a home buyer and you've got let's say a 650, a 640 credit score, that's going to affect your interest rate. When you can go in and get that maybe to a 690 or 700 credit score, that's going to be a much more favorable rate, fees, everything is going to be much more in the borrower's favor having a higher credit score.
Matt, I know that you are the president of the board here at the Chamber. Tell me about some of why you got involved in the Chamber and how that's impacted your business.
Sure. I moved here in October 2010 as a result of the BP oil spill. I mentioned it. I do business valuations. Part of that's also loss valuations of the businesses that were affected by the BP oil spill. I was with Car Riggs and Ingram for 8 years, and one of the first people I met was Ted Corcoran, who is the president and CEO of the Chamber of Commerce. I did not know anybody when I moved here, so Ted was one of the first people that I met. He said, we were talking about how to make this area of Fort Walton Beach my home. I like to be involved. I like to go into a restaurant or grocery store and see people that I know, just because that makes it feel like home to me. So I started getting involved through going to the networking events and just meeting people in the area, and was able to get on the board of the chamber after a few years of involvement. Of course, everybody loves a CPA because that means you're automatic treasurer because nobody else wants to do it. So I moved into the treasurer spot for about 4 years, and then made the transition to be the incoming chair for 2018, 2019. And the chamber has afforded me the opportunity to meet a lot of people. With Bank of England mortgage lending, we have been able to place our loan officers in great networking opportunities. That they've had plenty of opportunities through the First Friday Coffee, nothing but networking, business after hours, different committees and festivals, to plug them in and give them a vehicle to help them meet not only realtors, but also through the chamber meet other professionals in the area that can help advance their career, just again by making relationships and building your network.
That's awesome. Well, in wrapping up, Matt, tell me if you could give my students one piece of advice, what would you tell them?
Don't go into a situation based upon emotions or feelings. Try to take yourself out of the situation. Hire a consultant, whether it be an attorney or a CPA or somebody that has been in the business. Use them as a mentor. Have whether it be a group or individuals that are sounding blocks that say, yeah, this is a good idea, let's look into it further. So my advice would be is, Use your head, not your heart.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate
You're
you
very
sharing with us this morning. And I'll see you around the chamber.
Sounds good, Joy. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.